Most people who grew up in a Judeo-Christian environment are familiar with Bible stories like Noah's Ark or Moses and the burning bush. But to understand how the Old Testament sets up the New Testament, it's important to know how those stories end. For example, if we go to Adam in the Garden of Eden, he starts things off as the image bearer and ends up barred from the gates of Eden. Jesus then is the last Adam, reopening the way to life. Noah saves the world from the flood, but his story ends with him drunk and naked. The lesson here is, even though God has spared the world, human hearts haven't changed. Jesus then comes to cleanse deeper, the baptism into a new humanity, where he clothes human shame. Abraham receives the promise to be the father of all nations and dies owning nothing more than a burial plot. Jesus is the promised seed who opens the inheritance to the entire world. Moses receives the law on Mount Sinai, leads the Israelites to the border, and dies outside the promised land. This signifies the law won't save you. Jesus comes to fulfill the law to bring people into true rest. David receives an everlasting throne and dies frail in a fractured house. He receives the promise of an eternal Son, where Jesus becomes the true temple and reigns forever. Each of these stories reveals a pattern. There's a gift, there's a gap, and then there's the gospel. Every ending highlights how the person given the gift can't finish the gift's promise. They are all intended to be fulfilled through Christ. When we understand how the Old Testament points to Jesus, it directs our focus to him.